St. Louis, my dude skis. We're taking a look at the 2024 St. Louis MX vs. ATV Legends track that just came out today. Whoa. Okay, there you go, Spencer. Boy, Big Daddy finish line. Let's blow our legs off. You know the drill. You know the drill for the Galaxy boy. All right. Big Daddy berm. Love it. Love it. Inside rut. Love it. Tons of pre-made. That is certainly a common trend that I have noticed. Whoa, that triple's kind of small. It's a boy all over the track. We're trying to learn it as we go. So I just did a live stream on this game. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that. And we really went and rode quite a few different races on all these different 2024 Monster Energy Supercross DLC tracks for Legends. So I've got a decent little idea. Got a decent little idea of like how to compare this track to all of the other ones that they've come out with this year so far. This one's got a lot of crossing back and forth, back and forth on the start straight and shit. Pretty cool little layout right here though. Finish line, you gotta be on the gas. You gotta be on the gas. You don't want to be on a 1-2-5 for that shit, boys. You gotta have that T in the system, boys. Gotta have that lifting in the system. Oh, Spitzy boy, rapping out here. Gotta have that lifting in the system. Oh, buddies. Oh, shit. All right, what is this thing? A triple? Might even build a quad over that. Oh, tripling off a tabletop is fucking insane. Bro, I like this track. This one's got a really cool vibe to it. This has got a, kind of a complexity to it. Kind of a, tons of different... Whoa, my God, I'm popping off here. Whoo! Spency boy with the suspension of absolute steel out here, you know. My suspension is like Cooper Webb's arms when he gets arm pump, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, let's see what we can do on this track. There we go. When you hit the finish line with a little bit of speed, you can kind of get rolling. That's like a wall jump right after a finish line. Kind of bizarre. But yeah, lots of pre-made. But some of these corners don't have pre-made ruts, which I think is the best way of doing it. See, when you start talking about like pre-made ruts, this is something that really frustrates me with the... like the modern era RF tracks on MX Simulator. It's like, and you guys probably saw that on the recent Seattle track on MX Simulator, you know, it was like they would make one inside pre-made rut, but it's so small that there's literally just no point in even hitting it. And then nobody hits it, and then it's the same difference as if you never even had it. But the problem is, it's like RF will never go in there and put like 3 or 4 pre-made ruts in a corner anymore on any track. You know, that's my whole thing when I talk about pre-made. It's not that you have to make every single track of the year have 6 or 9 ruts coming out of every corner. That's not what I'm saying when I say you need pre-made and you need ruts and you need character. I'm saying, you know, you could have some tracks that have more pre-made ruts, like just 1 or 2 in some of the corners. You have some tracks that have 3 or 4 ruts. You have some tracks like this that have, you know, 1 or 2 ruts in some corners, and then 3 or 4 ruts in other corners, and then no pre-made ruts in other corners on the same track. You see how charactered out those whoops are right there? You know, it seems to me like MX Bikes and MX vs. ATV Legends really have that element figured out. But RF on MX Simulator still can't figure that out. It's kind of bizarre. And what's funny about it is these games actually have better terrain deformation systems than MX Simulator, aka MX Simulator even more so needs more of the pre-made rut vibe and the character vibe than what MX Bikes or Legends would need. But the irony of it is MX Bikes and Legends have more pre-made ruts. I mean, I've seen some footage and some gameplay of some of those MX Bikes aerial 24 tracks. They got pre-made ruts, you know, 3 or 4 coming out of some of them corners. you know, you see the 3 ruts coming out of this corner. Definitely jump up over that tabletop right there. That's sick. You probably quad that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you got some corners that don't have it. You know, I feel like that's really, regardless of your terrain deformation level or how good it is in a game, pre-made, there's just no replacement for it. Like, there's no replacement for it, man. That's why you saw, even in the greatest terrain deformation motocross game ever, MX vs. ATV Reflex, you saw all those pre-made ruts in those custom, you know, replica Supercross tracks in that game and custom replica Pro motocross tracks in that game, because I feel like you create more of a realistic experience when you have some pre-made and you have some character, and then you have a really low-level terrain deformation system on top of that, or varying levels of terrain deformation. But that's what I think gives you that, like, you know, you can go from having, like, let's say you could have an Anaheim one that's trying to be more like hard-packed, dry vibed, and you could have that where it didn't have a whole lot of pre-made ruts, but maybe you don't necessarily crank the Erode super high either. Then you could go to like a Seattle and have a lot more pre-made, you know, and you could go to something like a trying to think of a certain track, like an Arlington or a softer style dirt track, and you could have pre-made and higher Erode. Like there's just not enough variation in it on MX Simulator. It feels like every track in that game in 2024, it's like it's got the exact same level of pre-made, which is basically none, the exact same level of character, which is basically none, very little pre-made, very little character. There's that jump, and then you jump all the way to the corner. That's the big line right there, boy. That's the Big Daddy T sipping, whipping, ripping line right there, you know what I'm saying, boys? So, but yeah, that's my big thing, though. It's like you don't want to get caught up in doing the same exact thing on every single track. You don't want to get caught up in running the same exact terrain deformation level, the same exact pre-made level. I think you lose a certain element of that real-life Supercross track variation when you do that, right? And the reason why I say all that is because I think with these 24 Monster Energy Supercross Legends tracks, they've done a decent job of that. Like, some of them have different varying levels of character. Some of them have certain corners with certain kind of ruts, certain kind of bumps, certain kind of, you know, and that really gives it that uniqueness to each of the tracks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Spency boy in the fucking little fence offside the track. That's a little catch you if you fly off the track kind of thing there. So, but yeah, overall, this track's sick right here, bro. It's definitely, I can tell you, one of my more favorite ones right here. Let's see what the big line is on the outside here. Let's see. So if you jump in there, oh, that is some steep jump vibes right there, boys. They definitely weren't scared to play around with that. It has some, this Supercross triple right here is super steep. Gotta scrub the shit out of that shit, boy. Then it sweeps back around to the finish line. This track's got a really interesting, kind of like obviously it's full-blown inside the St. Louis Stadium, but it's plenty skill gapped. I mean, it's got 2 major rhythms on it. See this giant-ass berm right here, bro? That shit's sick, dude. 4 ruts coming out of this corner. Got an inside rut there that you could attempt to hit. This triple's not the exact same size as the other triples, so they got a little bit of variation there, you know what I mean? Kind of tricky to hit this jump over the tabletop quad into the corner. That's got quite a bit of skill gap to it. The whoops are skill gap because it's got like a roller going into them. See if Smithy Boy can figure out this line right here. There it is. Yeah, there it is, and then it's quad into the corner. Ooh, daddies. Hell yeah. So, That's basically the two, like, really big rhythms on this track. So, got a little inside roller if you're trying to pass somebody. But overall, as far as the St. Louis track, yeah, this is one of the more fun ones of the year for sure. It's just got a little bit of everything on it, man. It's got wall jumps, tight jumps, big berms, small berms, 180s, 90s, 360s, militia twist, 4 ruts coming out of a corner, no ruts coming out of other corners, big rhythm, skill gap, big jumps, small jumps. You know, it really just has it all on this track right here, boys.